All right, let's continue our deep dive into the golden path to financial independence, that complete roadmap built on 3 stages and 13 clear steps. And today we are taking what is arguably the most important step of the entire journey.
In this explainer, we are crossing a massive threshold. We're officially moving into stage 3, the growth and financial freedom stage, and we're doing it by focusing on one thing and one thing only, step 11. This is where you acquire your very first income-producing asset. This is where all the theory finally becomes your reality.
That right there, that single moment captures the entire psychological earthquake we're talking about today. It's the real, tangible transition from earning to owning, and it will permanently change how you see money and time. Now, the framework we're analyzing, the 3 stages and 13 steps, was developed by Tamir, the architect of this entire strategy. He's also the creator of the Golden Path YouTube channel. What makes this approach so unique is his background. He actually blends modern systems engineering with the timeless financial wisdom from the richest man in Babylon, which he also officially translated into Hebrew. It's that powerful combination that we're digging into today, specifically focusing on a crucial part of it, Stage 3, Step 11.
Okay, so let's really break down why this step is such a monumental turning point. Think about it. All the previous steps, they were about building your foundation, building your defenses. Step 11 is the moment you finally go on the offense.
And this slide just captures that identity shift perfectly. Before this moment, being an asset owner is just, well, it's a label, a concept you might have on a vision board. You might be acting the part, but you're still fundamentally a well-managed employee. But after Step 11, it's a fact. That money appearing in your bank account, completely independent of your time, changes who you are for good. And I love this description of the mental breakthrough. Imagine you're out walking your dog and you get a notification that a dividend just hit your account, or you're literally sleeping and a royalty payment comes in. Your brain, which has been programmed for your entire life to believe you have to trade your time for money, suddenly sees a new reality. It's like a glitch in the system. And once you feel it, once you see it, you can never, ever go back. The strategy uses this really powerful rocket launch analogy. See, Stage 2 was that violent, difficult descent. You were fighting the gravity of debt, of instability. Step 11 is what's called the orbital insertion burn. It's that final little push where the engines throttle down, the shaking stops, and boom, you've achieved a stable orbit. You're not fighting to climb anymore. Your momentum is now carrying you forward. That first asset is what gets you into orbit. Now, to achieve that stable orbit, you're going to need a new set of rules. And here in Stage 3, there is one single, non-negotiable principle that governs every single decision you make from here on out.
And that principle is incredibly simple. Cash flow is king. We are not talking about appreciation, we're not talking about speculation, or what an asset might be worth someday. No. For the goal of financial independence, the only thing that matters is an asset generating positive, spendable income today.
This requires a brutally simple, almost painfully simple set of definitions. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Period. An asset owner trains their brain to ask one reflexive question about literally everything. Does this thing create income or does it consume it? That's it.
Let's look at what's called the grocery store reality check. Your net worth, it might look fantastic on paper because, hey, your house value went up, but you cannot take that piece of paper to the grocery store and buy a carton of milk. Financial independence isn't about net worth. It's about having enough cash flow from your assets to cover your living expenses. You can spend rental income to buy milk. Cash flow buys freedom.
Okay, so if the principle is that simple, what stops people? What's the holdup? Well, the biggest obstacle isn't something external. It's the internal battle against what we call the perfection trap.
So really, what is the biggest obstacle? It's not a lack of money. It's not a bad market. It's the internal fear of making a mistake. And that fear leads directly to doing nothing at all.
And this fear, it shows up as analysis paralysis. You see these symptoms all the time. Endless research with zero action. Waiting for that perfect deal that never actually comes. That feeling that you need to read just one more book. And the result? Years can just fly by with absolutely nothing happening. The fear of making a small mistake leads you to make the biggest mistake of all, which is doing nothing.
So how in the world do we break out of this paralysis? Well, the strategy gives us some very specific mental models, some new ways of thinking that are designed to shift your perspective from fear to calculated, responsible action.
And here it is. This is probably the most powerful reframe in this entire step. You have to stop thinking of mistakes as failures and start seeing them as tuition. Look, you paid tuition to a university for knowledge, right? Well, when you buy your first small asset and maybe it doesn't perform perfectly, you haven't failed. You've just paid a small tuition fee for a priceless education at the University of Reality.
This whole mindset of learning over being perfect, it directly informs how you should choose your first asset. The key principle here is alignment over optimization. So instead of asking, what is the absolute best, hottest asset class right now, you should be asking, what asset class aligns with my personality, my available time, and my risk tolerance? The best asset isn't what's trending, it's the one you'll actually understand and manage effectively.
Okay, we've covered the psychology, we've covered the principles, now it is time to translate all of this theory into a clear, actionable mission with a deadline.
But before we even get to the steps, we have to state the single most important safety rule. This is the golden rule of this entire stage. Never touch the shield to buy the sword. What does that mean? It means you never, ever, ever use your Stage 2 protections, like your emergency fund, to fund a Stage 3 growth investment. Those shields are sacred. Don't touch them.
So, here is your 4-part mission. First, choose. Pick just one asset class to focus on. Second, learn. Understand the basics. How does it actually produce income? And what are the real risks? Third, determine your starting investment amount and make absolutely sure it comes from money beyond your emergency fund. And finally, the most important part, execute. Set a hard deadline, 30 to 90 days, and make it happen.
Now, it is absolutely essential to be crystal clear here. This content is for educational purposes only. This is a thinking framework. It is not personalized financial advice. You are responsible for consulting with qualified professionals and making your own decisions based on your own unique circumstances. So let's just recap the huge ideas from today. That first unearned dollar, it permanently changes your mindset. Cash flow is what buys freedom, not net worth. Mistakes are just tuition. You got to choose your assets based on alignment with you, not optimization. And never, ever violate the golden rule. You've now officially crossed the line from employee to asset owner. The question is no longer if you can achieve freedom, but how quickly you can do it. Next, we're going to examine step 12 and see how you can scale this single win into an entire portfolio.
To follow every single step of this complete strategy in detail, you can find all the visual explainers on the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence, at youtube.com/@TamirGoldPath.
We'll see you in the next step.